What is up, guys? Welcome back. And today I am giving you the 5 books in the realm of mindfulness and mental health that I believe can ultimately change your life in 2022. I'm going to try to make this a quick one. I know it's New Year's Eve. You guys got fun to get to. I want to make it quick. Look, you guys saw life can be crazy, right? Last year, I spoke about how Audible was what I used to consume all my books.
My entire life, I have not enjoyed physically picking up a book and sitting reading front to cover. Thank God for Audible, right? Now, they don't sponsor this video or anything.
And I said, hey, maybe we'll work something out. Well, manifestation is funny that way. This episode is brought to you by Audible. Look, I know a lot of you guys listen to this show and you probably think Cam's a nice guy and he's really working hard at learning about mental health and bringing this show into a fully formed package. But I don't know if he's the most scholastic of fellas, right? Well, guess what? This podcast is brought to you by Audible, the book service. Guys, your boy reads. Now, there's big debate whether listening to a book is considered reading it. I think if you take the information in, it's considered reading it. Your boy's a heck of a reader. Look at this library I got going. The last book I read was Dopamine Nation. Great book by Dr. Anna Limbick. She was on Rogan, and I saw her. The Way of the Superior Man was a fantastic book. I think all men should check that one out. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Did not make it through that one. I like that one, though, because it was read by Nick Offerman. Guys, that's a big thing for me with Audible. You can have some of the biggest stars in the world reading some of your favorite books, and Audible is going to give you guys a free 30-day trial just for listening to this show. So if you have not gotten into Audible yet, or if you just don't have a free month, go ahead and create you a new account. Get that free month. They're going to send you a friendly reminder to let you know when the free trial is ending, so that way you can either update and you can go to the premium membership, which is what I have. That way I get, I get 3 credits a month, and I get like a whole catalog of books pretty much open to my disposal that I don't have to use credits for. That's pretty amazing. Guys, go check out Audible. Use the link in the description below. Help support the show. Get a free month of reading. All right, guys, and we're back. First book. Now, I'm going to start with 5 and go all the way down to what I believe was the most useful book for making changes in 2022. Book number 5, Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. I started this book because I found Jay Shetty's story on YouTube. I saw a lot of videos that he was in by Impact Theory, Lewis Howes, stuff like that. I was like, hey, this guy's story is pretty interesting. He grew up pretty modern like us. Decided that the monk route was something he wanted to give a shot because of things that was going on in his life. Read the book. His story's good. Spent some time as a monk learning mindfulness. Decided that dedicating his life in that way didn't fulfill his soul's purpose, so he is now sharing mindfulness in the secular realm, not as a monk. But again, shares a lot of very cool mindful stories and practices that he learned throughout his journey and that he continues to, use today. So again, I think that one was very cool. It was a good read. Check that one out. Book number 4, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. This book was highly criticized right when it came out because people said that it was encouraging narcissism. It was building a community of sociopaths or psychopaths because it was teaching people how to mentally manipulate situations. Now, that was the claim. I think Robert Greene did a good job of articulating himself, in his experiences going through life were so negative, and he experienced so much narcissistic abuse through mainly jobs that he was in, that it was important for him to put this information out, and he felt in a way that he was starting to make real change in the world by addressing the issues of what brings people to power. He wasn't saying whether they were good or bad. He was just addressing what is. And you can see when he talks, he struggles with a lot of these powers himself, but he observed it. He sees the way that life's trajectory works, and he's able to play both sides of the fence. I think he's a very valuable asset. It is a long book. I enjoyed listening to him read it through Audible. And again, I always like to hear the author's perspective. The next book, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. This book is life-changing for a lot of people. I know Rogan's talked about it. It's been all over the internet for the last couple of years. The Four Agreements, in essence, is being very careful what you say, being very careful what you take in from other people and situations around you, right? And then really making peace with, what you're able to do, what you're willing to do, and what you want to do in your life, And it's really giving you, if you've in this last year maybe lost your religious beliefs, if you found yourself weighing of sorts and you don't really know where you stand politically, morally, ethically in some areas, this is a good book to read because it gives you a very baseline for how you should act as a kind, caring person who's dedicated to causing no harm and really bringing out the best in yourself, right? I think it's a great book for that. And it breaks it down into four simple agreements that you make with yourself every single day. And if you do that, it goes without even needing to be said. It's fact. If you make these changes, things improve. Let's go. Next, Beyond Order. You guys know I love Jordan Peterson. Dr. Jordan Peterson is one of my favorite speakers of today. I love the way he articulates himself. I've invited him to be on the show, so hopefully we can make that happen in the future. I read his original 12 Rules for Life. That was great. In that book, he was giving direct look at your life, and see what can be fixed, fix those things. Beyond Order, 12 More Rules for Life, is more his observation of the excuses that people make, such as this person has power over me, the system has power over me, that's why I don't do these things, and that's why I'm oppressed in all these different areas. And he addresses those. He makes you think about them and remove any type of victim mentality from it. And then he moves on to, once you've removed that victim mentality, how do you maintain, gaining beyond order in life? You're going beyond order. It's not just this routine life that you're clinging on to in survival mode, feeling like your world is constantly falling apart as a victim, but you claim the power back in your life by setting intention for it. Really, it is what the book comes down to, and I think it was absolutely fantastic. Again, everything that Jordan Peterson has put out, I love to listen to. I like to, churn it around in the old brain. It always helps me a lot, and I really appreciate Jordan Peterson. That's why he comes in number 2, only to my favorite book, which is also the second to last book I read. I'm currently reading the Will Smith book. That's not going to make any lists. I can say that. If you guys want me to do a review on that book, I will, but I'd rather not. The second most recent and my favorite book that I think could change the most lives in 2022 is Dopamine Nation by Dr. Anna Limbick, I believe is how you say it. Dr. Anna Limbick does a fantastic job of taking the world that is and taking factual information from studies and her own research and taking the state of most people that are honest, that are struggling with addictions or impulse issues or mental health issues, and they're finding all these connections in all these areas of life. Dr. Anna Limbick released this book at the perfect time, right before virtual reality kicks off, bigger than it is now. We got the metaverse coming. This is showing us, before the separation happens, how addictive and how unhealthy to the human condition, right? Now, if you've already dedicated, you want to upload your consciousness to a computer and that's how you want to ride shit out, that is your right to do that, right? Not gonna knock you for that. But if you want to be a mindful human being that lives here on Earth, you have to realize that these Oculuses and this metaverse and all this is just a very more dangerous extension of what we see now on social media and the mental health issues that it will cause. But I think this one will cause an actual divide in the country and in the world, where you'll see almost two different worlds: the people who conduct themselves outside and the people who stay in are trapped in this dopamine addiction, whether it's to porn, whether it's to fucking food, whether it's to your phone, social media apps, whether it's just to getting attention, broadcasting yourself overly on social media, stuff like that. Broadcasting yourself and your thoughts out to the world, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but how are you doing it? Is it only online, or are you actually reaching out to the people you can touch if you're able to, right? Like, I think that's where the difference is doing some things online is a must in today's day and age, but it should always be for the betterment of the actual humanity at large, not just this virtual community we create. She talks a lot about, obviously the dopamine effects of our phones and social media, but she also talks about patients that struggle with very serious porn addictions. She talks about people from all over the spectrum. She talks about her own story, struggling with being addicted to romance novels. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but we're talking about books, so maybe some of you can. And again, it's just she's taking a very real life approach to what life is in today's day and age. In 2021, going into 2022, if you don't read this book and stay mindful of what's in it, I think you could be in real trouble. But if you do, and you read it and you put it into practice now, I think you're setting yourself up for real success. You're going to be a part of the better divide of people that are actually moving forward for themselves and not just leeching on to the hip thing of the times. I think those people are going to be in a lot of trouble in 2022. But I don't think that's any of y'all. Hope you know how much I love you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for hanging out with me. Make sure you thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button to see when we drop new stuff. Speaking of new stuff, we got new designs going up. I got the newest design, Moon Phases and Mental Health, goes up tomorrow. I can't wait for that. Go over to the roadredemptionpodcast.com. Check those out and know how much I love you once again. I'll see you guys next year.